Hello and welcome back to DickinsonDulcimer.com's instruction videos. This is video number 13, and today we're going to talk about combining melody notes and arpeggios to play a song. Now, this video is a supplement to video number 9, which had a slight technical problem in the arpeggio portion. The background material for this video is in the book, The Essential Hammered Dulcimer Instruction Manual, and it begins with basic skill exercise number 8 on page 18 and goes through page 36. If you don't have the book and would like to get one, you can order it from the home page at DickinsonDulcimer.com. If you have followed these videos and perhaps taken a class from me at a festival or a workshop, you know that my purpose is to help you learn to become a hammered dulcimer player and not just to learn to play a song on the hammered dulcimer. So let's begin by talking about how arpeggios work and how to apply them to almost any song. First, we need to know what an arpeggio is. An arpeggio, sometimes called a broken chord, is simply playing a chord using successive notes rather than playing the chord or the notes of the chord simultaneously or all at the same time. To get an idea of how arpeggios work, let's take a look at how they sound on a piano on the song Amazing Grace. What you're listening to now is Amazing Grace using block chords with no arpeggios. All of the chords are played by playing the notes of the chord all at the same time. Now let's play Amazing Grace by combining the melody with arpeggio chords. What you're listening to now is my right hand playing the melody along with other notes and my left hand playing other notes, but at different times, are broken chords, so that the blank spaces or quiet spaces between the melody notes are filled in with arpeggio notes. Now, most songs are written in either 4/4 or 3/4 time. A song in 4/4 time has 4 beats for each measure, and each beat is a quarter note. I'm sure you've heard musicians begin a song by counting 1, 2, 3, 4. They're just counting off 4 beats to begin the 4/4 time rhythm of the song. Think about clapping your hands or tapping your toes for each beat of a song. Every time you clap your hands or every time you tap your toes, you're playing a beat. But every time you raise your foot up after you tap your toe, or every time you spread your hands after you clap your hands, that's an upbeat. So the beats that would be counted 1, 2, 3, 4 become 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, if we play a hammer dulcimer stroke or a hammer stroke for each of the 4 beats, and we play a stroke for each of the 4 upbeats in each measure, we have 8 hammer strokes for each measure. To make sure you clearly understand this principle, I want you to use your right hammer to play the D on the right side of the treble bridge. It's here. And your left hammer to play the A on the left side, here. So get your hammers in place on the right and left side of the treble bridge. Now we're going to count by calling each beat its appropriate beat number, and for each upbeat we'll say the word and. And remember, we're in 4/4 time, so there will be 4 beats, and each right hammer stroke will be a beat and each left hammer stroke will be an and. So we'll count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now that was 8 total hammer strokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now let's play that same exercise in 3/4 time or 3/4 time. There are only going to be 3 beats per measure, but each beat will have an upbeat. So we will play the D on the right side of the treble bridge for the beats and the A on the left side for the upbeats. And we'll count 3 beats and 3 ands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and that's 3/4 time. And when we play in 3/4 time using a beat and an upbeat, then we have 3 beats and 3 upbeats, which means we have 6 hammer strokes. Now that we know that we need to play in 4/4 time 8 strokes per measure for a basic arpeggio, or in 3/4 time 6 strokes per measure, we need to talk about which notes to use in the arpeggios. In the exercise we just learned, you were actually playing a D chord arpeggio, because you were playing, instead of playing the 2 notes at the same time, which would sound like this, you were playing a broken chord or arpeggio notes, which sounded like this. So when we were playing the D and the A note in alternating strokes, we were actually playing a D arpeggio chord, but it was not very interesting. To make the song more interesting, we use many different notes in the arpeggios. Now here's how that sounds playing Sweet Hour of Prayer, which is written in 3/4 time using arpeggios. Now we'll begin Sweet Hour of Prayer by first playing the take-up note, which begins the song, which is a note right before the measure begins. It's 1 beat to bring the measure in, and it's the word sweet at the very beginning of the song. In Sweet Hour of Prayer, it's sweet hour, and this is a take-up note, and then the measure begins. It goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So those are 2 measures, the first 2 measures of Sweet Hour of Prayer. Now I'm going to play those first 2 measures using arpeggios. Simple arpeggios, which will just be alternating left-right hammer strokes. First 2 measures. See what I did? Now I'll go ahead and play through the verse. I'll be changing chords, and I'll explain to you in a few minutes how to know what notes to play after we change chords. But I'm going to go ahead and play through the verse for you. Now those are arpeggio notes added to the melody of Sweet Hour of Prayer. Now I used mostly right hammer strokes for the melody, and all of the fill-in notes are notes found in the D chord. The song begins with a D chord, and there are only 3 notes in a D chord, a D, an F sharp, and an A. So when I play the first 2 measures, I am accompanying the measure by playing only notes that are found in the D chord. Now this is a D, an F sharp, and an A, and this is a D, and this is an A, and so I can use any of those notes. I can even go up here to this F sharp, and I can fill in with any of those notes. And so I'm only using 3 notes, D, F sharp, and A, but I'm playing them at different places. Now I'm going to play a little bit more elaborate version of Sweet Hour of Prayer, and I'm going to use even more notes to fill in, but I'm still going to be using a 3/4 time with alternating hammer strokes, just 1 beat and 1 downbeat, 1 upbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so here is an example of how you can add even more notes. Now I'm going to add this note here, which makes the 7th chord for a D, which takes you up to the 4 chord, which is a G. When it goes Sweet Hour of Prayer, Sweet Hour of Prayer. I'll add this 7th note, which is found in a D7th chord, and I'm going to add some of the notes down here in the valley, and I may add some notes up here on top of the mountain. But even so, all of the notes that I'm going to play are found in the chords that I'm playing for that particular part of the song. And so here's a little bit more elaborate version of Sweet Hour of Prayer using just beats and one upbeat. And you noticed sometimes I hit two notes at the same time when I went. That's a nice move. And you'll also notice when I began the song, I used one of the embellishments that we talk about in the book and in one of the previous videos. Instead of just playing Sweet Hour, on that second note, I used a combination of notes. That's just an example of putting in some of the D's, F sharps, and A's for the D chord. And when it gets to the G chord, it moves to the 4 chord, which is the G chord. It plays all G's and C's and D's. Those can be found here or here. And changing chords in a song is a method that we talk about in the book and on a previous video. Now here's a quick tip for those of you who want to make it even more interesting and a little more complicated when you play arpeggios. You can move from using 2 hammer strokes per beat, which is 1 beat and 1 upbeat, as I just did playing Sweet Hour of Prayer, to using 3 strokes per beat. So instead of counting 1 and 2 and 3 and, you would count 1 and 2 and 3 and each one of those syllables gets a hammer stroke. It's kind of like having 2 upbeats for each beat. So if you play 1 stroke for each beat plus 1 stroke for each of the 2 upbeats, then you have 3 strokes per beat. And if you are in 4/4 time, then you will have 12 strokes per measure. And if you're in 3/4 time, as we just were when we were playing Sweet Hour of Prayer, then we'll have 9 strokes per measure. Now, one word of caution. We usually try to play melody notes with right hammer. But when you use 3 strokes per beat in 3/4 time, you're going to need to play some of the melody notes with your left hammer. You'll notice instead of playing sweet, see, all of my melody notes are with right hammer. See, right hammer. But if we go to 2 upbeats or 3 strokes per beat, it's 1 and 2 and it's now watch. See that left hammer lead? Watch. Watch. Left hammer. Left hammer. Now you can watch a performance video of my arrangement of Sweet Hour of Prayer, and you can download the sheet music free by going to DickinsonDulcimer.com, click the Instruction tab, and then click Music Downloads. Scroll down the page until you see Sweet Hour of Prayer, and click the performance link and watch the video, and then you can download the complimentary copy of the sheet music of my arrangement, and it will show you all the chords that are in the song, where the chords are, and it'll also show you on the sheet music, it will show you the notes that I'm playing when I play that arrangement. Now here are a couple of arpeggio patterns to use with the song Amazing Grace. The beginning chord of Amazing Grace in the key of D is a D chord. So I can pick any note in a D chord to use in the arpeggio. And this is my D note, my root D. This is my F sharp. This is an A. And this is the octave D. And of course, this D on the treble bridge, I can move over to an A on the bass bridge, and then I can get in the valley and I can play a D, an F sharp, an A, another D. So I have all of these notes. And I can even move over to the left side of the treble bridge and play here. So I can choose any of those notes to use in the empty spaces between the melody notes to play the arpeggio. So here's a couple of ways to play Amazing Grace. And I'm going to be using just the beat-upbeat method, which in 3/4 time will be 6 hammer strokes per measure, or 2 hammer strokes per beat. Remember the exercise we had. And I'm going to move from that exercise into Amazing Grace. Here's another way to play using different arpeggio notes. Now you can use any of those patterns that you like, or you can use one pattern on the first verse and another on the second verse, and so on. But remember, it's very important for you to experiment with the notes that you like and make up patterns that you like, so that when you play, it will be your interpretation of the music. Now, one of the things that I've learned is that there are certain note patterns that I use in all arpeggios. For instance, if you'll notice when I played, I'm playing a left hammer lead there, but the reason I do that is because it allows me to play the under note under here. It allows me to play. Play the left hand here, and it allows me to go over to this low D note. Left hammer lead. One other song that is a wonderful demonstration of blending arpeggios and melodies using 3/4 time is a song that I learned in my church called Just As I Am. And it sounds like this. First, I'm going to play just the melody, and then I'm going to add the arpeggios. Now those are just the melody notes. If I played what we call block chords on the hammered dulcimer or on a piano or any other instrument, if I just played simple chords that weren't arpeggios, it would sound like this. But when I play arpeggios, I break the chord up and play the notes in the empty spaces. So I would play it like this. That's a beautiful song, and it sounds wonderful with arpeggios, and you can work up your own arrangements. How about Silent Night, which is a terrific opportunity for you to make up arpeggios that sound wonderful on your hammered dulcimer. Let's play a little Silent Night. First of all, just the melody. Or you can play it up here. And if we play block chords as we did earlier, it would sound like this. Pretty nice sound, isn't it? Now let's add some arpeggios to it. Please visit DickinsonDulcimer.com and join our mailing list. We would love to get an email from you letting us know how you're doing with these lessons. I'd like to know what kind of dulcimer you play and what is helping you and what is not, and any lessons that you would like to see. So give me an email. The email address is on my website, which is DickinsonDulcimer.com. And remember, for those of you who read music or want to learn to read music, we have posted lots of free sheet music for you to download and enjoy and use in learning to play the hammered dulcimer. All of our sheet music has the chords, the guitar chords or the piano chords or whatever instrument will be accompanying you above the staff, and you can see where the chord changes are. And then I have all the notes that I play when I play the songs for which we have sheet music posted. And we have a lot of it posted, and I'm doing more and more. So if you join our email list, you'll get an email from me letting you know when I post a new video or new sheet music. And until next time, this is Jess Dickinson with DickinsonDulcimer.com saying keep practicing